There's an infinite number of things that could come up in any conversation. So, one of the things I learned early on as a fundraiser was how to recover from something you weren't expecting someone to say when you're on the phone or having a conversation about a gift. And the methodology that I learned is LASC, stands for listen, acknowledge, support, and continue. It's not a script, it's a framework, a mindset that can keep you returning back to what you actually need to be talking about in the conversation so you don't get thrown off course and have awkward silences and things like that. So the first step in the LASC is to really listen, not just to the words that are being said, but to the tone and the subtext. So one of the things that a great example of this is someone tells you that they've recently retired. The way that they say that gives you so much insight as to whether they think this is a good thing or a bad thing. They may be having an identity crisis. They may be worried about being on a fixed income and their cash flow. They might also be really relieved to be out of the workforce now and to be able to travel and go see their grandkids. It could be any of those things on a spectrum from very, very good to very, very bad. And if you don't actually spend the time listening for that subtext, listening to the words they use, listening to their body language, looking at their facial expressions, and putting all of that together in real time, you're not going to know how to respond from there. So after that, you really want to make sure that they know that you heard what they had to say by repeating that back to them in as natural a way as possible. So what I hear is that you're having a lot of anxiety about being on a fixed income now, right? So if that's what you're picking up on, make sure that you're correct by echoing that back to them, and then they also feel heard. Then support. Make your case with warmth and clarity. So you're not invalidating what they said. Maybe you're saying, well, we've had other folks who are maybe more comfortable with a more modest amount. So you're returning back to your original intent of the conversation to talk about renewing their gift for the year, but you are doing so acknowledging that their situation has changed and offering alternatives, right? And then continue by bringing it back to the goal of the conversation. So would you be comfortable with a gift of a smaller amount this year? So that's how the framework works. If you want me to give other examples or you have questions about how this might actually play out in real life and conversations, let me know in the chat. I'll be happy to make a reply video and show you some other ways in which this works. I've used it in many, many, many different situations, and it has always held me in good standing.